Hey, I'm Jake McNeal. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do codeless in-app purchases within Unity. Now, this is a fairly easy process, but before we get into it, I would just like to ask that you please consider subscribing below and definitely give this video a like and maybe even comment, and it'll really help me out. So before getting into this, I just want to mention that everything from this tutorial comes straight from Unity's own documentation. So here in Tap the Square, since the last video, I have added this little button on the home screen where you can, you can click on it and it takes you to the purchasing page. Currently it just says buy something, and then it has some generic fields for the title of the in-app purchase, the description, and then this will display the purchase, and it's actually a button. So to start with codeless in-app purchases, we are going to need to go into the services from Unity. So the way that you do that is go to Window, go down to General, and you go into, I cannot find it, Services. My bad. Okay, so here in Services, you're going to see you have Ads, Analytics, Cloud, Stuff, Collaboration, but this is the one we want. We want in-app purchasing, so we're going to click on that. And inside, you're probably going to come up with some COPA thing. Just clarify that, whether or not you're making it aimed at 13-year-olds or younger. But after that, you're just going to want to come up to the Simplify Cross-Platform in-app purchases, and you can either click this or you can just hit Enable and make sure that you import the asset into your project. So I've already imported mine, but you would just come down here and hit Import. So now that we've imported the package, let's just make our shop visible here. And what we have, like I said before, is we have a title, a description, a button, but that is not a regular button. This is actually an in-app purchase button, and I'm going to show you how to create that. It's not the same way that you would do it as you did it before. So I've already put two in here. Currently they are blank, they don't do anything, so I'm going to show you exactly how to make one yourself. So let's go to the shop over in the hierarchy, and all you're going to do is you're going to hit right click on where you want your button to be. You're going to come down to Unity IAP, and you're going to make an IAP button. Okay? And then you can put it wherever you want. You can edit it to look however you want, but the button itself is going to look like this, and it comes with a few things. It comes with this product thing. It comes with two method calls and these text fields. But I'm not going to use this button because I already made some. I just edited them to make them look a little bit better with my game, but it's the exact same. So on this first button, we're going to want to create our first in-app purchase product. So how do we do that? Well, if you come over here, you can see that it's requesting that we have a product ID. So currently we have none, and it can only select none. So we actually need to go to the IAP catalog to create these products. And you can either do it on the button itself, there's a button right here, or you can go to Window and then Unity IAP and then the IAP catalog. And that's what I'm going to do right here. So currently you can see that it's asking for an ID. This is going to be your product ID, and it is pretty specific. You can use whatever you want, but it is highly, highly recommended that you do it in a certain format. And this format is, it's basically, I forget what the exact terminology, but it's like a reverse URL. So it starts with com, and then you put a period, and then this is where you would put your company's name or your individual name based on how you're going to be sending it off to the stores. Like if you registered on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as an individual, you'll use your name, and if you use it as a company, you would put the company's name. So for me, I would just put Jake McNeal. So then period, and then from here, you're going to put the name of the application that you're making. So in this instance, this game is called Tap the Square, so I'll do that, Tap the Square. And then another period, and this is where we'll put the name of the product that we want to do. So in my case, this is going to be a non-consumable purchase, and I've already created this for this tutorial. If they were to buy this non-consumable purchase when they were playing the actual game, it allows this changing color effect to happen on the background. It's not necessary, but it's just a cool touch. So we're gonna say, we'll call it color change. Yeah. And you'll just need to remember this for later. Now, because this one's not a consumable purchase, meaning we're not gonna keep buying this over and over again. You buy it once and you have it forever. We're gonna change it to a non-consumable purchase. Now, this is important. We're gonna need to create the title of this in-app purchase product. So we're gonna say that the title is background color change. And the description, when playing the game, the background, I spelled that wrong, will change to different colors. Okay. And then we need to come down to the Google configuration and the Apple configuration. So if you're only doing it for the Google store, this is all you need to do. You wouldn't need to worry about the Apple configuration, but we're just going to do both. So the price for this, you want to do it in the same tier that you would do if you're going to do it in Apple. Here in Apple, it actually comes in a tier list. So let's just select a good price for this. So this is probably around $50 US would be a good price for this. So now let's just take that same thing and we'll just do $49.99 for the Google price. So now let's just exit out of that for the meantime and let's plug it into the button. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to select the button here. And now we can come up here and we can select the color change product that we have just created, and we're just going to want to make sure that the button type is set to purchase. The other option is restore, but we will get into that in a second. This is consuming the purchase. This means that once it's active, it would automatically be consumed. We're just going to leave that checked on. We're going to get to these methods a little bit later, but I just want to show you first how we're going to set up the title, the description, and the price. So a nice thing about the Codeless IAP is that it'll do all of this for us. So all we need to do is I'm going to grab this title and bring it into the title text. I'm going to grab this description, bring it into the description text, and I'm going to grab the buttons text, and I'm going to bring that into the price text. So just let me do that real quick. Okay, cool. So I've brought in all the texts. So now if we were to play the game, you will see that it'll actually load in these things. So we have the background color change, which is the title of the in-app of the product. It's for $50 US, and when playing, and it also loads in the description. So that's all really good. So now let's just do that one more time, but this time we'll do it for a consumable purchase. We'll come down to the next button, and then over here we're going to go to the IAP catalog as well. And you're just going to want to go below the last product that we've created and create a new product. This time it's going to be the same, so it's com.jakemcneal.tap this square, and then this time we're going to say coins. And we want to leave it as consumable because it is a consumable purchase. You don't want to purchase it more than once. Leave it on Google and Apple in English. Title, we'll say 1,000 coins, and the description will be, after your purchase, you will be rewarded 1,000 coins to spend on whatever you want. Okay, so just like we did before, we're going to come down to the Google configuration. We're going to set a price. We'll go with the Apple configuration first, and we're just going to say, I think a fair price would be $100 US. So let's make it 99.99. So now that that's done, I've already set up the description and title and price things, but we can come up here and select our coins product and make sure that we are on a purchase and it's a consumer purchase. And now if we were to hit play, you can see that they are both working. Okay, so for restoring purchases, to create a restoring purchase button, it's the same way as creating the in-app purchase button. You would just come down here, you go to Unity IAP, you create an IAP button. But what's different on this button is you'll actually come down here, and instead of button type being purchase, you would simply set it to restore. And that's it. It's actually that simple. Now, you only need a restoring purchase button on the Apple App Store. You do not need it in the Google Play Store. So if you're only making this for Google, you don't need it. If you're making it for both, you will need it, okay? Okay, so now that we've set up the buttons, now we just need to plug those buttons into the actual game. And the way you're gonna do that is we are gonna have to actually write a script. I know it's Codeless IAP, but that handled all of the in-app purchasing parts of it. Now I'm gonna show you how to use that in your actual game to give out rewards. So we're gonna come down here and we're gonna create an C# script, and we're gonna call this IAP shop. Doesn't matter what you call it, but that's just what I'm gonna call mine. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna get rid of all of that. You don't need it. And then you're gonna come up here and you're gonna say using oh my god, that is slow. Gross. Unity engine dot purchasing. Okay, that's important. So if you come back to your buttons, you're gonna find that it wants you to make two methods, an on purchase complete and an on purchase failed. So we're gonna create those two methods. So what you're gonna come here and do is, I'll just do that. We're gonna make a public void on purchase complete, but it does need a parameter, or it does pass a parameter, which is product. So on purchase complete, make sure it says that without the spaces, and then just we want to pass in a product. So it's going to pass in this product. So we're going to say product, and then we're just going to label it as product. And then we're going to do the same thing for the on purchase failed, and it's going to require a product and a purchase failure reason. So let's do that. On purchase failed. So public void on purchase failed. And then it wants a product. We'll just label it product. And then a purchase failure reason, my bad, and we're just going to call this reason. Great. Okay, so to do anything in these purchase methods, first we're going to want a reference to the type of product that we want to use. So let's just create two strings for these products, private string, and then, so the first one I'm going to call background color, because that was my background color in-app purchase, and the other one, my bad. The other one I'm just going to call coins. So what this is going to equal, the background, you were just going to want to grab the product ID. So if you come over to your in-app purchase catalog, you can see you're just going to want to take this and this. So for my first one, I'm just going to copy this, bring it over, paste it in. And then I'm going to take the other one and bring it in. Okay, great. So now this method is only ever going to be called if the purchase went through. So we're just going to want to determine which product the user bought. So the way that you're going to do that is just a simple if statement. We'll just make that. And we're going to say if product, which is this, which is the method or the parameter that was sent through. So if product dot definition dot ID is equal to, and we're just going to check it first on the background color, equals the background color. Then here we would reward the player changing background. Okay? And then we'll just make another if statement. If the product dot definition dot ID is equal to coins, then we will just reward the player 1,000 coins. And you can implement the functionality however you want from there. Just to showcase this, I'm going to make a couple debug statements. So debug.log, give the player 1,000 coins. And then over here, debug.log, change background color active. So you're not always going to make that purchase, so you're going to want to know why it failed, and then based on how it failed, you can delegate how you want to do things about it. So I'm just, for this tutorial's sake, I'm not going to showcase how to do every single thing, but I will show you how to get what type of failure it was. So we're going to do it in the form of a debug statement, and we're just going to say the purchase of, and space, and then we're going to say product.definition.id failed due to, and then reason. Okay, so now let us go back into Unity now that we have that. And the way I'm going to use this is I'm going to put it on the parent of the whole UI for the shop, which is just this, which is the shop. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to grab my IAP shop and I'm going to just drag it on. It's as simple as that. That's all I got to do with that. So now when we come down to the buttons, we're going to see that we need to hook these up. So let's first add in the on purchase complete. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the shop. We're just going to drag shop into the object field, and then we're going to come over here. We're going to go to IAP shop and on purchase complete. We're going to do that same thing for the purchase fail. IAP shop on purchase failed. Then we'll go to the other button and do the same thing. Grab shop. IAP shop on purchase complete. Let's add in another thing. Go to shop. IAP shop on purchase failed. Great. So we're almost done, but before I show that working, we need to do a little bit with the restore purchase button. And we are going to want the reference to that button, but I'm actually going to take a reference to the game object above it, the parent of that, so that I can just deactivate the whole button and just get rid of it. We're going to need another variable, and this one's going to be public, and we just want it to be a game object, and we're going to call this restore purchase button. We'll just make a private method, and it's not going to return anything, and we're going to call this disable restore purchase button. Doesn't need any parameters. And all this method is going to do is just check whether or not we are on the iOS platform. So if application.platform does not equal runtime platform.iPhone player. So basically, we're checking to make sure you are on the iPhone. And if you're not on the iPhone, we're going to set it to false. So here we go. Then we would just take the restore purchase button dot set active, and we're going to make that equal false. My bad. Now this isn't actually being called yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the top here. I'm going to say a private void awake. And what awake does is it calls even before the start method, and what we're going to want to do is we're just going to pass in this method. So we're just going to say disable restore purchase button, and then that should work. So we'll just save that, and that should be all the code that we need to write. Okay, so now back in Unity, there's just one more thing we need to do. We need to go to the shop, and we now have this right here. So I'm just going to grab this restore game object, and we're going to place it in. So now when we hit play, The restore purchase button has gone away because we are in the Unity editor. Both of these have loaded correctly, what seems to be correctly. So now let's see if we can purchase it and get a debug statement clarifying that. So first we're going to go for the background color change, and if we click on it, this comes up with a temporary purchase store. It'll be correct based on the platform you are. This is just the one that Unity uses. It's a fake store. And we're just going to say that we want to purchase this. So if you come down to the console, you can see that the change background color is active, and that's what we said right here, change background color active. So it knew exactly which product we bought. And the same thing would happen if we were to buy the 1,000 coins, but I'll show you what happens if the purchase was to fail on this one instead. So if we were to come here and we hit cancel, if we were to hit cancel, you can come down here and see that it says purchase of the coins failed due to the purchasing unavailable. So yeah, that's everything working. The only thing you got to do left is just hook this up to the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And if you guys want me to make a tutorial on that, leave a like on this video and a comment letting me know that that's something that you guys want, because I'll only do it if enough of you want me to make that tutorial. So if you want it, let me know. But it's been really fun, and this is a really simple and easy way of doing in-app purchases, and I hope you guys found it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.